Baby, bro. It's not Lil Baby, with the power, bro. And nobody was going with a nigga I was going with.
She missed the flight. I get on the flight at 5 a.m. by myself. Haven't heard from her. Then the next day, she at a Lil Baby restaurant leaving taste test reviews. I'm like, this what you doing? Like,
I said, I was like, I want to take accountability for all the girls that was following that because I made everything look cool. That was just me in survival mode. For real, and not like thinking it through or setting back or, you know?
Now, Chrisean Rock just threw out an accusation so wild, it makes all the back and forth with Blueface look like the warm-up. In the middle of fighting for her baby, crying on live, and clapping back at Blueface, Chrisean suddenly claimed that Lil Baby was trying to sell her to his rich sugar daddy for threesomes. We're talking a full-on setup where she was supposed to be the product. And you guys, this isn't coming out of nowhere. For months, Blueface has been obsessed with tying Chrisean's name to Lil Baby, accusing her of sneaking around with him, dragging him into their arguments, even dropping his name in songs. So when Chrisean finally snapped and made this claim, people didn't know what to do with it. Some fans laughed it off, others said it explains why Blueface was so insecure about Lil Baby in the first place. And honestly, you couldn't tell me this isn't disturbing if there's even a grain of truth in it. Because what Chrisean is describing here isn't just drama, it's exploitation. And the fact that she felt the need to air this out in the middle of a custody war makes it hit even harder.
So with Lil Baby though, was Lil Baby trying to fuck?
Blueface wasn't trying to
I know I wasn't asking about Blueface, I was asking about Lil Baby.
I'm saying, like, it don't start like that.
Before Chrisean ever exposed the Lil Baby situation, the drama with Blueface was already out of control. Right after she gave birth, instead of stepping up as a father, Blue was on Twitter calling her selfish and threatening to take custody of their son. He literally tweeted, "If she don't take my son serious and make that her main focus and priority for at least 30 days, I will file for custody. My kid not finna be molested and touched on like everybody in her family dead homies. I don't play them type of games." And you guys, that wasn't just a rant. That was Blueface basically telling the whole world he was ready to use the courts against her while the baby was still brand new. But here's the part that ties it all together. In the middle of that, Blue kept bringing up Lil Baby. He accused Chrisean of sneaking around, saying she cared more about connections than about their son. One of the biggest fights started because he thought she was spending time with Baby right before she gave birth. Chrisean later went live, crying and yelling, "You made it about F-word Lil Baby, bro. This is not Lil Baby's baby." And not gonna lie, hearing her say that while breaking down shows just how deep Blue's paranoia really is. So from the beginning, this whole custody drama has had Lil Baby's name stamped all over it. And y'all, that's the messy setup for what came next. While Blueface was busy firing off tweets, Chrisean decided to speak for herself. And instead of posting a cute clapback, she went live and broke down in tears. This wasn't the loud trolling Chrisean people are used to seeing. She was raw, shaky, and honestly heartbreaking to watch. She kept saying over and over that nobody was going to take her baby away. And in this clip, you can hear just how emotional she was, repeating that nobody was going to take her baby away.
Nobody taking my kid from me. Nobody taking my baby from me, yo. Nobody taking my baby from me, yo. You know how much I took when I was pregnant with him? Nobody taking my baby, yo.
And you guys, that line hit hard, because whether you like Chrisean or not, everybody saw how rough her pregnancy was. The fights, the stress, the chaos, she carried all of that while still bringing her son into the world. So when she's crying about protecting him, that's coming from a real place. Fans flooded the comments with mixed reactions. Some felt it was powerful to see her so protective, like one who said they hope her family helps her get the custody paperwork together because she clearly loves that baby and finally found the love she was searching for. Others took it as a moment of strength, telling her to keep God first and stand tall with the rest of the women who've been through similar struggles. But either way, the live made one thing clear: Chrisean was done being quiet while everyone else controlled the story. Now, while all this was blowing up between Blueface and Chrisean, Lil Baby finally had enough of being dragged into their chaos. And you guys, when he spoke up, he didn't sound amused, he sounded done. He hopped on Twitter and shut it all the way down. "I ain't with the trolling ish, I be laughing at certain ST, but ain't now stop playing. I ain't never tried to talk to no mef Chrisean. Please stop attaching my name to that." And then he doubled down with another tweet. "I seen her at a party and told her some real She know I never tried to talk to her. I know I bring attention, but Chrisean even trolling about a child and stuff is too far. Thanks. Not gonna lie, the energy in those tweets was pure frustration. Lil Baby wasn't just denying it, he was basically begging people to stop tying his name to hers. And that's rare because Lil Baby usually stays low-key and doesn't feed into internet drama at all. Fans immediately ran with it. Some said this proved he really had nothing to do with Chrisean. Others thought the fact that he had to clear it up showed how messy the situation had gotten. Either way, he wanted no parts of that storyline. The second Lil Baby cleared the air, Chrisean was right there to grab the moment. Instead of letting the denial end the conversation, she flipped it and used it as proof she'd been telling the truth all along. She hopped online and wrote, "See, he finally said it. Facts. Told y'all I've been attached to his name because my baby daddy insecure ASF. Someone tell Blue he can stop trolling me." And you guys, that was classic Chrisean, messy, but also a little triumphant. She wasn't just relieved Lil Baby denied it, she was gloating like, look, I wasn't lying, it was Blue making this whole thing up in his head. Then she doubled down, saying, I'm done trolling. I just needed Lil Baby to clear the air cause my baby daddy gave me hell over a ninja and won't believe me about anything. Not gonna lie, it sounded like a sigh of relief mixed with a victory lap. But here's the thing, even though Lil Baby denied the rumors, Chrisean's way of spinning it kept the drama alive. She wasn't just moving on, she was using his words to drag Blueface all over again. So after all that back and forth, Chrisean didn't just stop at defending herself. She went even further and dropped something way more disturbing. She claimed that Lil Baby wasn't just casually tied to her name, he was actually trying to sell her off to his rich sugar daddy for threesomes. She basically said Baby was lining her up like a business deal, like she was supposed to be the entertainment for some wealthy man's bedroom. And you guys, this isn't the type of thing you just pull out of thin air. The way she said it, emotional and angry, it felt like something she had been holding on to. And in this moment, she flat out brought up Lil Baby, saying he complimented her in a way that didn't feel innocent at all.
You're cute on that tomboy shit. Like, I like that. It was like, he gave me a compliment. But that's the only flirt thing. But he was really giving me advice. He was just like, yo, you the motion. What are you doing? I said, whoa.
Lil Baby said that.
Yeah. And I'm like, all right, baby. All right. He's like, what? I'm like, you talking to me like we really that cool, my nigga. Fuck. So then,
not gonna lie, I can see why people actually believe her. Because if you look at the timing, Blueface's obsession with Lil Baby makes way more sense if he knew something shady was going on behind the scenes. And let's be real, the way Baby got so defensive in those tweets, that didn't exactly kill the suspicion. You couldn't tell me this isn't the kind of claim that leaves a mark. Because if what Chrisean is saying is even halfway true, then we're not just talking about messy baby mama drama, we're talking about exploitation. And that's disturbing on a whole different level. Now, the second Chrisean dropped that sugar daddy claim, the internet split in two. Some people thought she was doing too much. Others felt like she was finally exposing something real. But either way, the comments were loud. One fan wrote, "You have to get it together. If it's not true, move on and ignore him." And honestly, that's been the problem from the start. Chrisean can't just ignore it because Blueface and now Lil Baby's name keep being thrown in her face. And you guys, when it's tied to accusations this disturbing, moving on isn't as simple as hitting the block button. Another person jumped in with some tough love. Stop letting that clown F with your mental ma. He's miserable and wants you to be as well. He wants attention and wants to feel like he's important. Don't allow it. Every time you allow him to F with you, he's controlling and bringing you down another notch. Stop allowing it, baby. And not gonna lie, that one hit. Because if you read between the lines, it's not just about Blueface anymore. Fans are starting to lump Lil Baby into the same category. Men trying to use, control, or exploit her. That's why the sugar daddy allegation didn't just get brushed off. People are seeing a pattern, and they're tired of watching her spiral in the middle of it. Then there were the fans begging her to just walk away. Just leave him alone. Focus on the baby. And y'all, that comment was everywhere. It shows how exhausted the audience is with the drama, but it also highlights the saddest part. Chrisean can't just leave it alone if what she's saying about Lil Baby is true. Because if a superstar rapper really tried to pass her to his rich friend, then this isn't just about protecting herself, it's about protecting her son from being raised in a world where she's treated like property. The fan reactions basically turned her claim into two camps. One side clowning her to move on, the other side whispering that maybe, just maybe, she's telling the truth about how deep this exploitation goes. See, the reason a lot of fans didn't just laugh off Chrisean's sugar daddy allegation is because they've already seen her trapped in the same cycle of exploitation, just with Blueface. Their relationship has been one big loop of abuse that everybody can recognize by now. First comes the love bombing. After every messy fight, Blue will post her up, buy her something flashy, or call her his queen. And Chrisean, she falls right back in, defending him online, saying nobody understands their bond. That's the honeymoon phase, the part that keeps her hooked. And here's Chrisean herself, standing by Blueface and defending him like nothing ever happened.
man, if me and anybody got beef, why the first thing y'all try to say anything is about my son? My son got nothing to do with this argument. My son or my got nothing to do with our argument. Go toe to toe with me. Stop trying to throw up shit, because I can throw up your kids.
Then comes the tension building, the little digs in interviews, shady tweets, the back and forth lives. Fans can always spot it, the passive-aggressive energy before things blow up. And sure enough, it always leads to the explosion stage. Viral fights in the street, screaming matches on Instagram Live, police calls, stuff that should never be brushed off, but they and their teams package it as just drama. And this is exactly what it looks like when that tension finally boils over, caught on camera for everyone to see.
You alright, dude? Bro, that's not good, bro. Damn, dude. Bro.
After that comes the justification and denial. Blueface flips it on her, calls her crazy, says she's the problem. Chrisean, broken down, ends up blaming herself, saying he's misunderstood. It's textbook gaslighting. They normalize it, dress it up as passion, when in reality it's abuse playing out in public. And here's Blueface himself, calling Chrisean crazy and claiming she overreacts.
If I'm intoxicated and I beat your ass, nobody's gonna say anything about me gaslighting, about me intoxicated, about what you did. They're gonna say no. Blue couldn't control himself. He got out of his emotions and her up, send him to jail. It's a double standard.
It's not a double standard.
Okay, you're an idiot.
If I get mad just like
You're
that.
an idiot.
No, now you trying to say I do it first.
You do.
All the time.
You do.
And then the repeat. They get back together for the baby or for loyalty, the same cycle starts over, and fans watch the train wreck reset. Not gonna lie, when you put that whole pattern side by side with what Chrisean is saying about Lil Baby, it doesn't sound so far-fetched. If she's been publicly treated like property, tossed around in fights and headlines, why wouldn't she believe another man in the industry was trying to use her the same way? You couldn't tell me that doesn't make her story hit differently, because if you've already seen her trapped in this cycle with Blueface, it's not hard to imagine her being exploited outside of it too. And y'all, that's what makes the industry's silence around this whole thing even more concerning. Because as shocking as Chrisean's sugar daddy claim is, a lot of people don't know whether to believe her, and that's because of her reputation. Let's be real, Chrisean has made a name for herself off chaos. The fights, the crying lives, the public meltdowns, fans have seen it all. So when she says something this serious, there's always that crowd that goes, oh, she's just being dramatic again.
There's no such thing as jail talk. You feel me? Blue's not broke, yo. He got money. When I get mad, I call him a broke because he be doing broke shit. Like, stop playing. You feel me?
But here's the thing, even in the middle of all her chaos, there are moments where she looks too raw, too broken to just brush off. That live where she was crying about her baby, that wasn't trolling, that was pain. And when she turned around and said Lil Baby tried to set her up for his sugar daddy, the way she said it felt less like clout chasing and more like a desperate attempt to be heard. You guys, that's what makes this whole situation so messy, because on one side, you've got her wild history making people doubt her. On the other side, you've got the receipts of how she's been treated in her relationship with Blueface, receipts that prove she really has been used, controlled, and humiliated before. So when she says another man in the industry tried to exploit her, it's not impossible. In fact, it sounds like the kind of thing nobody wants to admit out loud. And y'all, that's where the real tension sits, because if Chrisean is telling the truth, then this isn't just Blueface drama or baby mama mess. This is a superstar rapper allegedly trying to pass her to his rich sugar daddy for threesomes. And if that's real, the industry silence around it says everything. So don't get too comfortable, because the way Chrisean keeps talking, it feels like she's not done yet, and the next thing she exposes might be even worse.